Stress is everywhere today. And looking ahead to 2026, it's not going to slow down. It's going to speed up. Technology will move faster. Expectations will rise higher. And distractions will get louder. But here's the truth most people miss. Stress itself is not the enemy. Unmanaged stress is. The people who win more aren't the ones with fewer problems. They're the ones with a better way of thinking. Because life doesn't respond to our circumstances. It responds to our mindset. Think about it. Stress doesn't begin with pressure. It begins with our interpretation of it. Two people can carry the exact same workload, face the same deadline, and experience completely different levels of stress. The pressure is equal, but their thinking is not. Pressure is external. It comes from demands, expectations, and responsibilities. But stress is internal. It's the story we tell ourselves about that pressure. When our mind labels pressure as a threat, our body reacts with fear and tension. Most people try to remove pressure from their lives, but that's just not realistic, especially in a fast-moving world like the one we're heading into. When you change the way you think about pressure, you change how it affects you. Calm thinkers don't deny pressure. They define it correctly. Pressure handled well becomes motivation. Pressure handled poorly becomes stress. The key difference is your mindset. When you train your mind to ask better questions under pressure, like, what can I control right now? In 2026, success won't belong to the most talented people. It will belong to the most mentally prepared ones. Talent opens doors, but mindset decides how long you stay in the room. Skills can be learned, tools can be upgraded, but the way you think determines how you respond to change, pressure, and uncertainty. The future will reward those who can adapt quickly, stay calm under stress, and remain focused when distractions are everywhere. Mindset is the new competitive advantage, because the world is moving faster than ever. Information is unlimited, but clarity is rare. Many people know what to do, but very few can think clearly enough to do it consistently. A strong mindset allows you to stay disciplined when motivation fades and stay confident when results are delayed. It creates consistency, and consistency always beats intensity over time. In 2026, those who win more won't be the ones who react emotionally to every challenge. They'll be the ones who think intentionally. They'll choose growth over comfort, learning over complaining, and progress over panic. When your mindset is right, obstacles become training, not threats. The person who controls their thinking controls their decisions, and the person who controls their decisions controls their future. Calm leaders create results because calm thinking leads to better decisions. When emotions take control, logic steps aside, and in moments of pressure, poor decisions are usually made in a hurry. A calm leader doesn't rush, doesn't panic, and doesn't allow stress to dictate their direction. Instead, they slow their thinking, evaluate the situation, and choose actions with intention. This ability becomes a major advantage in a world where uncertainty is common and quick reactions are tempting. People naturally look for stability when things feel unstable. A leader who remains composed sends a powerful message without saying a word. Calm builds trust, and trust builds influence. Teams perform better when they feel secure, and that security often comes from the emotional state of the person leading them. When a leader is steady, others gain confidence and focus on solutions rather than problems. Winning consistently isn't about dramatic moves. It's about making fewer bad decisions over time. Calm leaders reduce mistakes because they think clearly under pressure. They understand that every decision carries momentum. By staying composed, they protect their judgment, guide others with clarity, and create an environment where progress becomes sustainable and success becomes repeatable. External success always begins with internal control. Many people spend their energy trying to change circumstances, people, or outcomes, yet they ignore the one area they truly command: their own thoughts, attitudes, and responses. In 2026, when change is constant, those who master their inner world will outperform those who try to manage everything outside of themselves. Your reactions determine your direction. When emotions lead, decisions suffer. When your values lead, your actions align. Internal control allows you to pause, think, and choose wisely instead of reacting impulsively. This pause creates power. It turns pressure into purpose and obstacles into opportunities. The moment you gain control over your mindset, you regain control over your behavior, and behavior always drives results. Winning more isn't about force, it's about focus. Focus comes from clarity, and clarity comes from inner discipline. When your thinking is intentional, your actions become consistent. Over time, consistency compounds into progress. People who control their internal state don't wait for perfect conditions. They move forward with confidence, knowing that while the world may be unpredictable, their response doesn't have to be. Growth is not accidental. It's intentional. And the difference between reacting and growing is thinking. Emotional reactions feel natural, but they rarely lead to progress. When people react emotionally, they give control of their future to their current feelings. Intentional thinking, on the other hand, puts direction back into your hands. In 2026, our emotions will be triggered constantly by news, social media, pressure, and comparison. Without intentional thinking, people will live in a cycle of distraction and frustration. Growth-minded individuals learn to slow down their thoughts before they speed up their actions. They ask better questions, reflect on lessons, and make adjustments instead of excuses. This habit turns every experience, good or bad, into a learning opportunity. Intentional thinking creates consistency, and consistency creates improvement. When you choose to think before you react, You protect your energy and focus it on what matters most. Over time, this discipline builds wisdom, confidence, and resilience. Growth doesn't come from avoiding challenges. It comes from processing them correctly. The people who grow the most aren't the most emotional. They are the most thoughtful. Long-term success is rarely the result of one big decision. It's built through small, daily disciplines, especially in the mind. What you allow yourself to think about consistently shapes who you become over time. Small mental habits, repeated daily, quietly determine your future results. In 2026, people will look for fast breakthroughs, but the real winners will be those committed to steady inner discipline. Every day presents simple choices: how you start your morning, how you respond to stress, how you speak to yourself after a mistake. These moments may seem insignificant, but they compound. A disciplined mind chooses focus over distraction, learning over blaming, and progress over perfection. These choices build confidence, because confidence grows from kept commitments, even small ones. Mental discipline creates stability. When your thinking is trained, your emotions follow, and when emotions are managed, your actions become consistent. Consistency builds trust, both with yourself and with others. Over time, this trust turns into momentum. Success doesn't suddenly appear. It slowly forms through repeated right thinking. Those who practice small mental disciplines daily won't just survive 2026. They will lead, grow, and win with confidence and clarity. Thanks for watching.